Okay, so how can we add in some props? All right, before you watch the rest of this video, I want you to grab your notepad. I want you to write down some ideas for ankle weights. How could they be useful for you? You've got wrists, you've got ankles. When would you put the ankle weights on? How could you modify some of the exercises we just did to make sure that when we're using these ankle weights, if we're putting them on at the start, why are we doing that? How is that going to be useful for us? So I want you to write some notes down now before I continue with the video. Write some notes down why they would be useful. Then write down some notes on how we could use this booty band. There are so many things that you can do with a booty band, okay? But why are we using it? I'll give you a little hint. When we use this booty band on our thighs, what do? We take our knees out usually, okay? So if we're on the carriage or if we're standing, we're usually taking our leg out. Why are we doing that? We're doing that because when we do that, we are abducting, okay? We're taking our leg away from our midline up to the sky. We're being abducted. Adduction is when we draw our legs back in close together, okay? We're abducting. Now, what muscles work to help us to abduct? Write that down before I tell you the answer. If you said your gluteus medius and your gluteus minimus and your tensor fasciae latae, which I like to call it latte or lata, whatever you like, you are correct. Yeah, they help to abduct our leg out, but they also help with our single leg stability, which we'll get through later. So how could you use this in your footwork? All right? How could you then use a ball in your footwork? Write that down. And how could you use a circle in your footwork? So I want you to pause the video now. I want you to write down all of your notes. Please don't watch this until you've written your notes. It's the best way to learn. So you're doing a technique called brain dumping, or writing out your ideas, even if they are so far away from anything I'm about to tell you, write them down, okay? That is the best way to learn. So then you can see, oh, my idea would work. Em didn't do that, but my idea absolutely would work, okay? We wanted to use our brains to think creatively. The more creatively we can think, with purpose, with intention, with the correct muscles that we want to use in mind, the more fun we're going to have, the more we're going to learn, the more we're going to get out of our teacher training. Press pause, write that all down and come back. Okay, welcome back. Ankle weights. Why would we use ankle weights? Here's some ideas, okay? These are just my ideas. Please write your ideas in the comments so that everybody can learn different ways. My way is not the right way. No one's way is the exact right way. Yeah. We all do things differently. So ankle weights for me today, I am going to do a lot of single leg work with our footwork. So before we did double leg work, so our weight range was higher. I'm going to drop my weights from 3 reds and a blue to 3 reds because we're doing single leg work. Now, the force here is pulling my foot down towards the ground, okay? So that means that my quadricep here has to work harder. You see that? My quadricep is extended here, and then it has to squeeze to bring my knee up into tabletop. So we have your main 4 quadriceps that come up and over and attach here, okay? Down on your tibial tuberosity at the front there, via the patella tendon. Okay, so you've got your vastus medialis on the medial side, vastus lateralis on the lateral side, and vastus intermedialis, okay? And then we have our rectus femoris. Now, rectus femoris, which acts as a knee extender, as the rest of them, but it also acts as a hip flexor. Okay, so it comes down, attaches the same point as everyone else, but it comes up and it attaches below your ASIS. So on your, instead of your anterior superior iliac crest, it's on your anterior inferior iliac crest, so just a little bit lower, but it does this, whoop, hip flexion, yeah? So when you're in tabletop, if you feel this tension through here, that's usually your rec fem, your rectus femoris, okay, along with all of your other hip flexors, iliopsoas, so that's your iliacus and your psoas major, together, they join a little team, and a bunch of others, so we won't focus on that. So single leg footwork, okay, so we're now doing single leg work here. You can make this as fun as you like. You could come all the way out, extend. Use your quadricep to straighten your leg, bend back down. Let's come back in. We draw all the way out, we extend leg, we bend, we draw back in. Okay, so see how my foot is pointed? You might like to have it flexed now, so you can just change around the system. Okay, but this is the point that we're working through these quadriceps here, because they do what? What movement do your quadriceps do? They extend your knee, yeah? Now if I start taking my leg out over the foot bar, like this, straight leg, all the way over, now what am I working? What's the main muscle group working here? Okay, if you said your hip flexors, you are so correct. And if you specifically said your rectus femoris, your rec fem, you are very, very correct. So you will feel it deep in here, okay, because that's our hip flexors working hard. So you might even like to stop at the top here or stop halfway and work into your what muscles? What works to bring this leg back through center? Yeah, and helps control it on the way out. Your adductors, yeah, your adductors, your inner thigh muscles. So obviously everything here is working, but we're trying to target a little bit of our adductors here because they're doing a lot of control. Okay, so that is some examples of how you could use weights on your ankles for your footwork. Same thing in all the different positions. All right, so let's move on to the next one.